Welcome to our cozy little corner of the world, where tales of adventure and bravery come alive. Tonight, we're transported to the sun-kissed land of Greece, where the gods of Olympus once roamed and legendary heroes were forged. In this enchanting land of ancient myths, our story starts with a glimpse into the majestic world of At the Palace, a timeless tale from the Greek Odyssey. Let's begin.
At the Palace. In the previous albums, we heard about the hero Odysseus, who is finding his way home after winning the Trojan War. He faces terrible perils along the way, but he courageously overcomes them all. This story continues when Odysseus lands on Phaeacia and is helped by the princess Nausicaa, who clothes him and gives him food to eat. She also asks him to request her mother, the queen, for help to reach home. The story continues. The king and queen of Phaeacia sat around the hearth with their household. They were pouring wine out of their cups in honor of Hermes, the messenger of the gods. They would do this every night before they went to bed. Nausicaa and her maids were also seated in the hall, but they did not speak about meeting the stranger. And then suddenly they saw him, kneeling in front of the queen. Goddess Athena had covered Odysseus with a mist, and no one in the great hall was able to see him till he had entered. They all stared at him in astonishment. "Good queen," said Odysseus, as he threw himself at her feet, "may the gods bless you and your family. I have come here alone and friendless. All that I had has been taken away from me. Have mercy on me and help me reach my home." The queen remained silent, but looked at him keenly. She knew he was a stranger, but wondered how he wore clothes that were made in the pattern of their own looms. Odysseus then rose and, like a beggar, went and sat near the ashes on the hearth. Everyone in the hall was still and silent, and then finally the oldest of them all spoke up. "O king," said he, "this is not the way to treat a stranger. Bid him to rise and give him place to sit by you. Treat him with the respect you would give to a friend." The king immediately obeyed the elder's words. He took Odysseus by the hand and raised him from where he was seated. Calling out to a servant boy, he said to him, "Mix a bowl of wine. Let us offer it to our mighty father Zeus, who is the protector of all who are friendless." This was an indication to all gathered here that the stranger was to be made welcome. A maid hurried to provide him with a silver basin to wash his hands, and he was seated at the right hand of the king. The housekeeper set a meal before him, and sweet wine was poured into his cup. They poured a little wine on the hearth, as an offering to Zeus, and then they all drank to their fill. And then, as it was late, those who lived away from the palace made their way home. All this time, the queen sat silently, wondering to herself. At last she asked, "Stranger, who are you? Did you not say that you were a shipwrecked sailor who was washed up from the sea? Then how is it that you wear such fine garments that were woven on the looms of Phaeacia?" "It is a long story," replied Odysseus. "But I would like to hear it now," commanded the queen. Odysseus began with the story of the raft and how the violent storm had wrecked it. He recalled the help of the seabird who had given him the girdle. He then told them how the waves had cast him ashore and how he had swum up the river. "I was tired and exhausted," recalled Odysseus, "and so I slept the whole night and well into the next day. Towards evening I was woken by the sound of merry laughter and saw this beautiful girl playing with her maidens. I thought she was a goddess, and she must be one, for she did not run away in terror, but took pity on me. She not only provided me with food and this fine clothing, but best of all, she gave me hope, rest, and new friends." Nausicaa, who was a modest little princess, blushed at the praise, but never once did Odysseus reveal his name or who he was. Soon it was time for bed. The queen asked the servant girls to prepare a bed for Odysseus. She asked them to lay purple rugs over it, spread blankets on them, and cover them with warm woolen mantles. When they had prepared the bed, they came near Odysseus and said, "Stranger, please follow us. Your bed is ready." Odysseus went to bed and had a long, restful sleep. In those days, a traveller was well treated, as people believed that a man had to be very brave to attempt a long journey. So the king decided to throw a great feast in the stranger's honour. When the servants were busy preparing delicacies for the feast, the king and Odysseus went down to the seashore, to the assembly place of the Phaeacians. There they sat next to each other on polished stone. People soon gathered around them, as they were curious to see the stranger in their midst. "My people, listen to me," said the king. "This stranger, whose name I do not know, wishes to go back to his home. We have to help him, just like we have always helped other travelers who have passed this way. We will launch a new ship, with 52 men who will do the rowing. I will supply the provisions." The gathered men readily agreed. Some of them immediately got down to do the business of building the large boat, and the others followed Odysseus and the king back to the palace. Many more Phaeacians had gathered there, eager to see the stranger. The tables were laden with meat and bread in heaping baskets. Bowls of yellow honey and sweet wine were placed in front of everybody. The people sat themselves down, and everyone had a merry feast. Demodocus, a blind musician who entertained people at the feast, was made to sit on a silver-studded chair, and his lyre was placed before him. He began to sing a song about the Trojan War and the troubles that had overtaken the Greek and Trojan armies. As he listened to the song, the memories of the olden days came back to Odysseus. Tears filled his eyes, and not wanting others to witness them, he quickly threw a corner of his purple cloak over his face. But the king, who sat near him, noticed it, as he heard the sound of Odysseus sobbing. Join us in the next episode as we find out if Odysseus reveals his identity to the Phaeacians. The end.
As we conclude our journey through at the palace, remember that courage and perseverance can lead to great rewards, and it's essential to stay true to ourselves. To explore more stories from the Greek Odyssey collection and cultures around the world, download the StoryWaves app from Apple or Android app stores. A StoryWaves subscription costs less than $1 a month, making it one of the most affordable ways to bring quality stories to your family. All new stories are available on the StoryWaves app, with the most exciting content only available there. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow StoryWaves on Instagram, TikTok, and Spotify for updates on upcoming content. Thank you warmly for watching.